Namaste, Soul Healers, and welcome to Soul Horoscope's SuperScope Weekly Report. My name is Christopher Witecki. I'm your Sensei to Sirius joy, and this is a SuperScope because it is designed for Virgos, Virgo Risings, or if you have Venus in Virgo as well. All three will apply, and you can watch the others as well. And we are diving into a profound shift in consciousness. I argue there will be a vortex this week, a vortex that opens right up and shows you a glimpse of the future. And for you, this glimpse is a very private and very spiritual glimpse, but more on that later. First, let's dive into who you are. You are the Step 11. Step 11 is when you are in heaven. That's when you love yourself and you love others. And in that loving yourself and loving others, 1 + 1, you get this synergy energy of 2, emotional love or passionate love, and that is really what allows you to be a good healer. A lot of Virgos and Virgo Risings are natural born healers. And strangely enough, where the Virgos have been has been changing in your very personal self, where your own boundaries are, which will allow you to go up in wattage, or you may end up falling down in wattage if you haven't made this type of choice. And we're talking about protection and we're talking about boundaries. And that's what we're coming out of here as we start this week. Basically an intimacy transit. And as we begin this week, you're going to really hold space and be powerfully flexible at a very high level, be very powerfully flexible and hold space for the boundaries that you know you have to hold. In many cases, you might be holding these boundaries for others by holding them for yourself, especially on this high level. And in this last week, I had argued that I thought Virgos are stepping into a new self-trust paradigm that will change everything, including finances, abundance, and whatnot. But first, let's talk about where you're going to go next. So we wrap up the trust intimacy transit. Then we move into the Sun in Taurus. And this will begin a belief structure shift. And I believe this particular belief structure shift is a quantum powerful one. There's going to be a solar eclipse on April 29th that sort of seals the deal of whatever it is your belief structure shift is here the next few days. And remember, belief, in my opinion, is your heartfelt fact. So you can't believe in something your heart doesn't agree with. That's one of the secrets of being in our power. So if you are saying you believe something your heart doesn't agree, you can't trick yourself. All you're doing is short-circuiting yourself. So removing self-limiting beliefs is our first agenda as we move into the Sun in Taurus. But first, let's review. We have a Grand Cross up in the sky, and I argue this will be the week that we quantum open this Grand Cross. We've been held down in 4 points in our life, being forced to re-examine these 4 points. And when you're a Virgo or Virgo Rising, the Uranus-Mars opposition is trust and intimacy, represented by screen left Uranus, and then on the other side, value systems. So there has been a tug-of-war between your trust and your values, which might be as simple as, I'm broke, how come I don't have any money? Well, you have some boundary issues with money, right? You have boundary issues with your value consciousness. And in the last week, the universe has been pushing extremely hard for you to take a big step up in trust so that you can actually later raise your prices. Now, don't expect money or abundance, I don't think, to come rolling in until after May 21st when Mars goes direct. But the work you are doing and wrapping up this week with trusting yourself is the foundation to that ability to manifest. Then the North-South pole here with Pluto in Capricorn and Jupiter in Cancer, this hits you in a different arena. Pluto in Capricorn has been the gentle but obstinate push for you to step into what your heart really wants. And because Virgos are such overpleasers to everybody else, you have not been really wired to follow what your heart wants. You literally have to sit there and meditate on it. Well, Pluto has retrograded, which means there's no new news when it comes to jackhammering out the old stuff, but you will have a quantum breakthrough, and you'll retrograde the next 6 weeks where you pursue what you do know your heart wants. The real powerful pendulum here is Jupiter at the South Pole in Cancer. And this is forcing, not asking, just pulling Virgos into a new social arena where you feel like you belong in a new crowd, new friends, new social, new reputation, new title. You've worked a long time for this, and actually that embracing that social title, that is actually what's going to pull you out of this whole traffic jam. But last week we had a profound lunar eclipse, and that lunar eclipse is a cosmic event that ultimately was trying to clear out old energies to make room for new. In your case, probably clearing out old business alignments, old business plans, maybe a idea, maybe you got the pink slip and laid off at work. These are the types of things that actually make room for greater trust, but that will also, when Mars goes direct, move forward with the actual abundance. So again, you're doing the trust work that sets up for the manifestation to receive and whatnot. But that lunar eclipse might have hit you. So this week, as we enter the week, you are having to hold that space, that total space for trusting that you can transform, having powerful boundaries, but flexible boundaries, and staying in that powerful flexibility Saturday and Sunday of the weekend leading into this soul horoscope. The moon is in Sag, so your mind, your emotions, have to be well nurtured in this last final test, and you might be at home and not even want to go out. That's the 19th and 20th of April, but that's okay. As we move into Monday, the moon moves into Capricorn, and now this actually sets up for what I call the vortex opening. The vortex, in my opinion, is going to give you a glimpse of where things are going. And as the moon moves into Capricorn, your inner child comes online, and that powerful Pluto versus Capricorn opposition comes to fruition. You're on the inner child side of the society part. And so really, with things going so well in the world, the question will be emotionally, is your heart getting what it wants? Do you feel it, right? And this will be the question of the mind as the sun now moves into belief structure and you begin to see, is my heart aligned to my beliefs? Do I feel what I believe in? Is what I believe in line with my beliefs? This really opens up the door for what I call a kind of a stargate. Let's take a look. If we go up in the space, during this period, all 4 planets here in the grid will go to the magical 13 degree, which is actually very powerful. And Uranus and Jupiter are direct. Mars and Pluto are retrograde. All 4 planets are pushing to a squeeze point, a vortex point of Leo 13 degrees. Now this hits you in the house of faith or past lives, all right? Now the moon will move into Aquarius after it strums your inner child. And on Tuesday at 10:30 Eastern, it will oppose this vortex point. There's also a soul pyramid in water going on, so whatever awareness happens, it actually ends up upgrading subconsciously. And so when the sun goes to 2 degrees Taurus, I believe you're going to have this feeling of what you believe in or don't believe in. And this is the setup for the solar eclipse on April 29th. And that is, do I feel I really am behind my heart's desires? That's the question that's asked and maybe answered. And with that vortex moment, I think we're getting a magical kind of like vibrational feel of the future. And when I say the future, I mean Jupiter is moving into Leo this summer. So that vortex point will be hit by your birthday. So whatever vision and what you feel between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, you'll have to write me and tell me what's going on, because these are pretty good. I'm good at these little moments now, and I love them. But they really are a glimpse of the future, and you'll kind of feel that. Then really things heat up and get better again on Friday, because Friday is Love Fest Day, the most powerful day of the month to love each other, love yourself, and whatnot. And it's hitting you in the house of relationships. It's also hitting you at the house of marriage and partnership. So this Love Fest Day is really going to be you passionately feeling like you have kind of like made it to a relationship level, or you're ready to be at a certain level. A lot of this comes, I think, from having new trust in yourself from the Sun in Aries transit. You're also reevaluating your values, so being a little bit more lubricated about values and where that could go, or where money could come from, also lightens you up a bit. And this is on Friday going to be an interesting moment. Pay attention to who you see 3 days before, 3 days after this event, because the universe is setting yourself up. There's a lot of cosmic portals opening up. A lot of people are being introduced to people, and they don't necessarily know that this is a kiss of the future now. So this week ultimately is a final test of strength when it comes to holding and being there for yourself with your emotional boundaries. And then you're discovering where your belief structure is poor. Where is it poor? Any place that is not aligned with your heart, right? So if your heart doesn't believe that nice guys finish last, then maybe they don't and shouldn't, and therefore in your creative reality will not. So you're discovering where you're poor. And I believe that the vortex moment is a moment of looking into that place in Leo, which for Virgos will be some sort of reclaiming of your heart from a past life depth, and also reconnection to your higher self. So it's going to be exciting and interesting, and you'll have to tell me how it goes. Now, if you are a person that loves like a Virgo, wrong slide. We call you an 11VQ. Now, an 11VQ is basically someone with Venus in Virgo, and so you're a person that gives and receives like a Virgo. So you tend to be a person that loves in a very caretaking way. For you, this is a powerful moment as well for long-term relationships. So if you have Venus in Virgo, I argue this Love Fest Day will be some sort of introduction. If nothing else, it'll be an introduction in the sense of wherever you are, you're role playing where you're going. And it might be a passionate moment where you have to really kind of like be like, wow, I think relationships are going to move forward. And indeed, they are going to move forward. But the ones that will stick around, I guess is what I'm trying to say, will be relationships that are based on the new self-compassion. One thing you may notice is that some relationships will be going, and those are ones who don't have compassion for you like you have for yourself. So keep an 11 eye out for all those. Then lastly, if you want to get a sneak peek at the solar eclipse in Taurus and how it's going to set a new intention for belief, you can look at your megascope. I go deep in the final week 4 and 5 of this video, so take a look, open it, watch it, and see. If you haven't bought one yet, well, gosh golly, you really should, because this is going to guide you day to day through everything you need to get through. Now, for those of you who want moment-to-moment, hour-to-hour guidance, I have GA Venus Beta, which is this new video service where I'm sending little videos to your phone 5 to 7 times a day based on your chart. The first week is free. Give it a try. And if you're watching us on YouTube, would you do us a favor and subscribe? We appreciate that. If you're on Facebook, you can catch us at soulgarden.me. That'll take you to our Facebook page, and you can like us and become our friend. And if you want me to email you every day your zodiac weather and once a week your horoscope, come on down to soulmart.me and get on our subscriber list. All right, my soul healers, I know it's a lot, it's intense, it's deep, I know, but we are smooth sailing now once you get that new belief of life purpose based on the heart. Once that happens, that means that things of the heart will manifest. There's a lot of things that mean. So stay true to you this week. I'll see you in 7 days. Until then, live, love, be.
Soul God.